Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Runestrike, and today I'm going to break down my track Under Attack. I just released it like a few days ago, and I thought it'd be really cool to do like a track breakdown on it because it's actually kind of a complicated project. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are in the intro. It's actually quite simple but effective. We got basically some chord stacks I did with some FX. A lot of them are frozen because this project's very huge and it takes up a lot of my CPU. So some of these I might not go too into, but we'll start with this pad here. That's kind of like the backbone of this whole intro. What I did was I basically just took a random pad, probably from a pack or something, modded it, took out the high end, added a little bit of compression, probably not, and minus it 19 dB to turn it down, and I added a samplex on the end of it. The samplex, basically what it's doing is it's adding that grit, that bit crushy grit sound, which really fills out the stereo spectrum, which I like, and also gives us that chiptune-y feel. The next important pad is this one right here. Yeah, it's kind of like this space, like outer space. It gets like that type of vibe to it. And the way I made this is actually kind of cool because later on, it actually becomes the drums that kind of drive the build forward to the war section. And the way I made this sound is I actually just took some contact presets like from Kinetic Metal, Hevosity, whatever that is, Evolve. And it's like stacked all three of these together. And I add like this really cool drum pattern, which just adds like this really cool to the song. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And moving on to the second part of the intro, I got some pretty cool stuff going on here. This intro pad actually evolves. That pad right there actually really gives the main intro its grit. And then I took that and layered it with this guitar, which gives you a really nice it's got a really nice space vibe to it, that guitar does. Very grand feeling, that's why I added it in. Then I just added some simple chip arps that stack. Pretty much just some basic stuff. Added a little bit of this. Little chip spacing sounds. And then we build up into the next part of our video, the war section, where it kind of breaks into like a little miniature 8-bit war and stuff. Basically how I did that is I actually just took a couple impacts. Like we have a breaking sound like it's being impacted, then I took some stuff I found off Cymatics, panned them left and right to give them that kind of different, like they're exploding in different areas, and I also stretched them to make them more like that. And then to make it sound like the place is kind of falling apart, like there's like sparks flying everywhere, I added this welding sound I found on Splice. And I added in a very specific pattern. I had it play normally, then I had it play in reverse, and then reverse, like it's always back to back, instead of just like play clip, then play clip. It's like play clip, reverse clip, play clip. That way it kind of gives you more of a smoother transition and the viewer can't really tell it's repeating. And for the gunshots I just used some more of the noise ones from the same pack. I think I changed these ones up and like made them shorter. And then I had a counter firing like they're being invaded from a different planet. That's a different sound I made. I looked up a YouTube video on how to make like laser sounds because I just couldn't find the right one on Splice, so I just made one. And this is probably my favorite sound right here because it's super spacey. It adds space atmosphere 100%. Nothing gets spacier than this. Right? So the way I achieved this sound was actually super simple. All I did was I took the pink noise from the serum noise thing and I just pitched it down, and that gave it that weird space thing. I don't know how to explain it. Just makes it sound like space. And then this sound was just a basic serum preset that I made, and I just did some editing to it. I basically looked up a video on how to make a siren like that whoop one, and I just like added different sirens in the same patch using the different oscillators. So moving on to the juicy part of the whole track is the drop, and this part is probably the craziest. Like I probably spent a little too much time making it absolutely crazy because there's like a ton of layers here. Like I'm not even sure if the computer is going to be able to play this, but I will try my best. So starting out with this sound right here. I took like a basic cymatic sound, like this Cymatic's Terror Bass FO7. So this is what it sounds like before. Yeah, it sounds okay, but I think what I did to its way sounds way better. And what I did was I basically stretched it, and I used Complex Pro first, and then I stretched it again and used texture, and then I stretched it again and used texture again. And that gave it this crazy type thing going on. And then I duplicated that and I pitched it an octave up, which makes it sound a little bit different. So now we have a left and right thing, which gives us a good big stereo thing. And then we come down to these synths. And if you'll notice, like a lot of these are choppy, which gives it that like really panicky, like tense feeling. And they all pitch upwards. Now for this sound, I basically just kind of cut the mids for some reason and just use one of the presets I made probably. Yeah, it's called Gritty Thing. It's probably spelled wrong too. Then this one I just literally added noise. Just to make it sound like just a wall of sound hitting you as soon as the drop hits. More panicky, like hitting sounds. And then what glues this all together really is this atmosphere bus, which I never used until this song. This sound right here. That adds that really panicky like sound going into it. And then I layered it with some pink noise. The cool way I did this sound is I did a chord, but the problem with the chord is it sounded too musical for that area and it ruined the drop. So what I had to do is I actually had to go inside Serum. I had to detune it with these things here. So I cranked that all the way up and it made it just glue into the track perfectly because I basically just kind of took the pitch out of it. So then it just boop, stuck right in there. So yeah, that's basically just the main highlights of the track. I don't want to go over the whole track because that would be like a really long video that I don't want to edit. So if you would be interested in a full edit of the full breakdown of this track, make sure to comment. If I get enough comments, I will actually consider making a full breakdown, but right now I don't want to edit that whole video. If there's enough support, I would probably definitely consider it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm gonna have probably a longer video coming out next week, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and see you all next time. Yeah, that sounds about right.
To a barrel roll!